Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Snowboard Pro Camp live chat. Going to be on here for the next hour to answer all your snowboard questions. Today, I'm back in Whistler, BC, Canada, and just got back from snowboarding for 2 weeks in Chile. So I want to talk to you guys a bit about that, and then also talk to you guys about the upcoming trip that we've got going on to New Zealand and Australia. So lots going on. Got a bit of a 2-week break here in Whistler. And yeah, really stoked to be on here, answer all your snowboard questions. Definitely hit me up with anything that's on your mind, snowboard related, whether it's with about snowboarding in Chile, or if you're interested in snowboarding in New Zealand or Australia. If you have any trick questions, beginner questions, gear questions, definitely hit me up with anything that's on your minds. Also, guys, the super chat. So if you want to hit that super chat button, it's an awesome way to support the channel. And yeah, just stoked to be on here with you guys. And we've already got 61 people tuning in. So thank you guys all for tuning in. Also, when you ask your question, definitely let me know where you guys are watching from, because we've got like a global community here of snowboarders, and it's awesome to see where all you guys are watching from. And yeah, just want to start off by saying that the last couple weeks in Chile, they were absolutely incredible. We went down there. We didn't really know what to expect from Chile, and it definitely was like just an A+ trip all around. From the people, the snow itself, the resorts, the whole just like feel, the places that we stayed at, everything. Snowboarding Chile was such an incredible experience. I definitely give the trip on a whole an A+, and I hope that reflects in the videos as well, because I had a really good time making videos for you guys, and I hope that you guys enjoyed some of those videos from Chile. And there's actually still one video left to make, but I feel like I was blown away by the snowboarding there. So if you guys are ever thinking about a snowboard trip to Chile, I definitely recommend it. The mountains won't disappoint. The people, the whole experience, I think like for us, it was incredible. So I feel like I'm very confident in recommending people, if you ever get the chance, consider Chile, especially if you're already in South America. If you live down south in Chile or Argentina or Brazil, any of those South American countries, you've got some incredible skiing and snowboarding, like not very far away. And we haven't even hit Argentina yet. So Chile and Argentina, they're all on that same border, all in that same mountain range. So lots there to explore. And we just felt so lucky to be to have some good snow. We were following the weather. We were keeping an eye on the snow forecast app. And as soon as we saw that there was some great snow coming to an area, the town is called Malacoello, and the resort is called Coralco. As soon as we saw that the snow was going there, we just packed up all of our gear, drove the 5 hours, and had just an incredible, like 7 or 8 days of riding. It was insane. And the next trip coming up is to New Zealand and Australia. So equally as excited about heading back down to the Southern Hemisphere to New Zealand and Australia. We were there last year riding at Cardrona in the terrain park, had a great time in the terrain park there, and also over in Australia in the town Jindabyne, and then snowboarding at Perisher and Threadbow. Had a great time in the parks there. So looking forward to getting back down south, and also just to see all of our friends down in New Zealand and Australia too. So met lots of people down south last year, and already have our accommodation booked in Wanaka, New Zealand. If you guys are thinking about heading to New Zealand for some snowboarding, Wanaka is a great spot. There's also Queenstown, which is like sort of the larger hub for snowboarding in terms of like tourism and resorts. There's a lot around Queenstown. And then Wanaka is a bit more quiet, and you can more easily access Cardrona from Wanaka. So that's where we're staying this time. Last time we were in Queenstown. So really looking forward to the New Zealand trip, leaving September 2nd. I think it's like a 21 hours of travel, and then we arrive into Wanaka on September 4th. So probably snowboarding on September 5th. And we're there till the 15th, and then we head over to Australia for another like week of snowboarding around Jindabyne. So really looking forward to it. But let's get started, guys, and I'll give everyone a shout out. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Thanks for everyone for tuning in early. Thanks everyone in Europe for staying up late. Over in on the other side in sort of like Asia, Australia, New Zealand, thank you guys for getting up early. And if you're watching from North America, just welcome. Hope you guys had a good day today. And let's give some people some shout outs. Amanda Lynn, thanks for tuning in. Iwa Burnett, Cooper, Osvaldo, Kate Scott, RB Cooper, In Motion SLB, Reds Cap. We got Crazy Cat Lover, Robert Fowler. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Jack Ripper and Darthonia. Awesome. Thank you guys. Huge shout outs. Catherine Lee is on here. Carrie Pierce is on here. Hope you had a good time in New Zealand, Carrie. Just tons of great questions already coming through. I just want to mention too, guys, over the last few months, probably the last quite a long time, you guys have been hitting us up with some of the best snowboard questions. So thank you guys so much for all your great questions. And I'm sure in this live chat, we'll get to some really great ones too. But just want to put that out there. I feel like as a global community of snowboarders, like the knowledge level is just like building. It's really cool to see. So up first, we got Osvaldo. And a really short question, he just says, hot knife or orca? Hot knife. What is the hot knife? I think I'm losing my mind. I should know this. Are you talking about the box knife? You may be talking about so there's a LibTech box knife, which is a great park board, and the LibTech Orca, which is this guy right here. Definitely my favorite powder all mountain board, the Orca. And actually, so the LibTech box knife is a great, I think, park board. So two boards, two different tools for doing different things on the mountain. So I would say I would like to have one of each of those boards because I don't want to take the Orca into the park and I wouldn't take the box knife into powder. So you could have one of each. And I love the Orca. I had it in Chile. I've rode it, I think, on 3 continents now. Asia, South America, and Chile. Asia and Japan, and here in North America, and it's been incredible wherever I go with it. All right. So Ben says, hey, from Wellington. Awesome. Snowboarding in New Zealand is amazing. I would definitely recommend all 4 fields around Queenstown and Wanaka, the Remarkables, Cornet Peak, Cardrona, Treble Cone. Nice, man. Yeah, I feel like all those spots are great. I've ridden at them all except for, I don't think I've ridden Treble Cone yet. But the Remarkables, some great all-mountain riding. Cornet Peak, I did 1 day of night riding last season, and it was really fun terrain. Cardrona is my favorite for the terrain park, and haven't hit Treble Cone yet. But yeah, lots of good resorts for like whatever kind of riding that you want to do. We got Kevin watching on vacation from San Diego. James watching from New Zealand, Riders watching from Montana, In Motion SLB from the UK, London, Niall Cook from Newcastle, UK, and Yurko watching from Chile. Awesome. Brian Carroll from California. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. And White House says, enjoyed your footage. Can't wait to see what's up next. Yeah, still one great video. I hope coming still from Chile. Gonna have that up soon for you guys. And then I think I got some videos planned before New Zealand. And then I feel like the New Zealand videos, I can't wait to start getting snowboarding down there. It's gonna be fun. Tommy Smith says, come to Mount Ruapehu in New Zealand. Yeah, that'd be a fun trip too. And Andrea watching from Italy. Arno says, hey guys, been a while since I checked out the live stream since I'm in the middle of my exam period. How you guys doing? Greetings from Belgium. Yeah, doing great. Thanks, man, for asking. Good luck on your exams. And yeah, having some good downtime in between trips. Chile was incredible. And yeah, just feeling good. No snowboard injuries, just kind of resting up and enjoying summer. And Osvaldo says, how long did it take you to hike to the top of that volcano? Yeah, in the last video, I know we kind of show it in about 30 seconds of video clips of the hike, but it probably took us close to 4 hours to hike that volcano. Because basically that day, some of the chairs and button lifts were closed because of high winds. And so, actually, no, it wasn't because of high winds. They had some kind of technical issue. But we basically had to hike almost from the bottom of the volcano all the way to the top. And the pitch of the volcano is like very consistently steep the whole way. So it's not like in Whistler where you kind of like walk up for a bit and you got some flat areas and it's kind of more of a rolling pace. This was just like a daunting, steep pace the whole time. And I don't know exactly how long, but I would say between 3.5 to 4 hours. It was pretty difficult, but it was fun. It was worth it. Grant says, I definitely need to board upgrade. I'm a little stuck between the LibTech Banana Blaster and the Never Summer Proto Mini. Any thoughts? Grant, those are two really great boards for you, man. Both sound great. I kind of like, I would go with whichever one is a little bit softer. And I feel like maybe the LibTech Banana Blaster may be a little bit softer for you. So, but the Never Summer Proto Mini, it saws all those same kind of things. It's got the kind of like camber under feet, rocker in the middle tech as well, just like the Banana. But oh, that's a tough call, man. I would go with whichever top sheet you like better because they're very similar boards. But I'm leaning towards the LibTech. But good couple picks there, Grant. And all right, Alexander Georgiev with the first super chat. Awesome. Thanks, Alexander, for the support. No question or comment, but if you have one, definitely hit me up and I'll answer it. And all right, just going to scroll down a little bit, get caught up a bit. Catherine Lee wants to know, are you going to meet up with David Jones again in New Zealand? Yeah, if you guys don't know, David Jones, he's a snowboard YouTuber as well, making lots of snowboard videos, but also some like really funny, like just funny entertainment videos as well. So check out his channel, David Jones. It's David S. Jones. But yeah, he's going to come, I think, meet up with us in Wanaka. We've already invited him to stay at our place, the Airbnb that we're renting. So hopefully get to make some fun videos with David as well. And DJ Gems, he says, what's up, going to New Zealand August 25th to September 4th, staying in Queenstown and Wanaka. Nice, DJ Gems. We may just miss you because we arrive, maybe we'll see you at the airport. We arrive on the 4th. So I'll keep an eye out for you in the Queenstown airport. It's a very small airport. So what time do we arrive? I think we arrive at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Queenstown airport. So if your flight's around then, we'll see you there, man. James says that he broke his collarbone snowboarding at Cardrona. Sorry to hear that, James. That sucks, man. Just rest up, give it lots of time to heal. Get into some other things that you can do while you're recovering, whether it's hiking or whatever sort of low consequence activity you can do. Stay active, and I hope you heal up fast, man. Sorry to hear that. And we got Fleed R says, hey, what's up? Just wanted to say hello, watching from Prague, Czech Republic. Awesome. Thanks for watching all the way from the Czech Republic. Lots of Czech people here in Whistler as well. Amy wants us to do a snowboard meetup. Yeah, we always try to do the meetups wherever we go. Amy, where are you in the world? Because maybe we can do a meetup. If you're in New Zealand, we can do a meetup there. We can do one in Australia. We always try to do meetups, at least one meetup per country. So when we were in Chile, we did a meetup. It was at the Hostel Route 181, and those guys had like a small like veggie barbecue for us. It was pretty awesome, and we got to hang out with like a crowd of people. It was a lot of fun, and yeah, it was a really fun meetup. So I will definitely do one. Try to do one in each country we go to. And Alexander, yeah, thanks for the support, man. He says, finally, after so many times, I made it and supported Snowboard Pro Camp. Thanks, Alexander. And Decode is watching from Oxford, UK. B King says, Kevin, what an awesome trip. Congrats, my man. And you guys killed it with the vids. Wish I was there shredding with you guys. Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, if you ever get the chance, look out, keep an eye on Chile. It's pretty cool. All right, and Feely Flicks, I want to try out some new boots. Any recommendations? Yeah, definitely. So I've been my last couple of pairs of boots have been Vans. This pair is the Vans Sequels, and they're a comfortable sort of like I would say like mid flex boot, and I've been really liking them because of just a bit of a stiffer flex than what I'm used to. So it's given me lots of ankle support for powder for all mountain riding. But the pair of Vans I had before this were the High Standard Pros, and they were a softer boot, but definitely like the most comfortable boot that I've ever ridden. My first day wearing these boots, I had them on for like 12 hours straight, driving to the resort, snowboarding all day long, and then going grocery shopping, going out for dinner, all in a brand new pair of boots. And the Vans High Standard Pros, like, they were just like so comfortable. It was like wearing a comfortable pair of like slippers. So I recommend Vans boots. Put some on, see how they feel on your feet, but I think you'll be very, very happy with them. The High Standard Pros are a bit softer, so I think more for like beginner intermediate, maybe some like beginner intermediate style tricks as well. But if you're a little bit more advanced, intermediate, advanced rider, I would recommend the Vans Sequels. They're just a bit stiffer for that added support. Kimineva says, when are you going to shred Tahoe? I'll shred Tahoe probably next winter. If Tahoe gets snow, I'll be there for sure. Me and TJ, we're going to drive down, either drive or maybe we'll probably fly to Reno and then drive over. But if Tahoe gets snow, we'll definitely be there, and we'll bring our powder boards. RB Cooper, how many hours a day do you usually ride? Good question. So normally we're the last ones on the mountain. And I would say like this last Chile trip, we'd probably get to the resort around 10 and then ride until 4:30. So I would say about 7 hours a day. Probably the average is probably around 6. Which is, yeah, those are kind of long days, but when you travel somewhere, and when you're like, we're always trying to film and stuff, so that takes a little bit more time. So yeah, 6 hours, I would say, a day. David says, Kevin, you crazy mofo. Cheers for the uploads. Thanks, man. Thanks, David. And we got Jordan watching from Rochester, New York. Yeah, thanks guys all for tuning in. Thanks for all the likes, 41 likes, over 100 people watching. Amazing. The global snowboard community, you guys are all here. And yes, super stoked to be on here talking to you guys back in Whistler. And we got Zane says, you going to post a 2019 Boots video? Yeah, definitely some more Boots videos coming soon. I can't remember if I've made videos about the Vans boots yet. I know I've definitely made one about the High Standard Pros, but maybe it's time to make a video about the Vans Sequels. But yeah, I'm gonna be picking up some 2020 gear soon as well. So look out for those videos for all the new gear coming out. We gotta try to stay on top of as much new gear as possible, just to stay up to date and let you guys know what's good out there. And Aiden F says, hi from the Balkans, Europe. How tall are you? So I'm 6'3", so a little bit taller than your average snowboarder. And normally if I meet people on the slopes, one of the things they mention is they always say that they're surprised. Everyone always says like, yeah, they're surprised at how tall I am. So taller than they expected. And James says, Kevin, you are so good. How do you never wipe out? I definitely do wipe out, but normally when I wipe out, it's not like if there's like a crazy fall or wipe out, I'll leave it in the videos. But sometimes in the videos, you know, there'll be just like an awkward, slow, like a very slow moving, you can see the crash coming and then it just takes forever to crash kind of fall. Those ones happen, and if they're boring to watch, I don't leave them in the video. But if it's kind of like an exciting crash, I'll definitely leave it in there. So I do fall, not as often, not that often, but I try to leave as many of the falls in as possible. Michael says, hey, Kevin, I got a quick question. In older videos, you are wearing a yellowish jacket. I think Volcom, with a big print in the back. Which one is it? So that's actually, yeah, for the first like 2 years I was making videos, I was wearing that yellow jacket, and it was an Air Blaster jacket. So Air Blaster makes some really cool outerwear. I would say, I don't know what model that jacket was, but yeah, check it out. Air Blaster makes some good stuff. Yeah, and I think all the Air Blaster stuff is made in Oregon too. So if you live in the States, you'd be buying from a local-ish kind of company. I don't know if they make all their outerwear in Oregon, or maybe they ship it from overseas, but I think they're based in Oregon. Hamed says, you and TJ have increased our knowledge and abilities. Awesome, Hamed. Stoked to hear that. Yeah, trying to just share with you guys as much as we can figure out ourselves. And just through the traveling, especially going to Chile, places like that, I feel like we just learn so much on those trips. So just trying to share that as much as possible with you guys. All right, just going to scroll down a little bit, get caught up. Dima says, hi, can you tell me which board is better for all mountain? A little park and sometimes powder. Solomon hook knife, DC PBJ, or yes, basic. Thank you. Also, hello from Russia. Yeah, those are all kind of like parkish boards. I think the DC PBJ is maybe the softest of the three. The Yes Basic is a little bit less soft, but kind of still that traditional twin shape, I believe. I would go for the Solomon hook knife. I've had this hook knife in the past, and it was a really fun all-mountain sort of park board. Not the best, not a great, none of those boards are ideal for powder. They can all ride through powder for sure. But I like the hook knife because it's got lots of pop in the tail, but it's still soft enough to do butters and presses. So I'd go with the Solomon hook knife. And Alon says, hello, Kev, love your channel. I'm from Israel. Awesome. Thanks for watching from Israel. Grant Zhao with the $5 super chat. Thanks, Grant. He says, so I'm thinking on Niseko in April. Is the snow good in April, or should I reschedule? Honestly, Grant, I think that April is maybe too late for Niseko. I don't know. I would say look at some of the history of the snow for April, and then that'll give you a good idea. But I'm pretty sure that most of the powder will probably be done by April time. So April is a good time to find a fun place to snowboard where they have a good terrain park, because April, more sun, more slushy snow. I would just try to find the terrain park you want to snowboard at and then make a trip to there. So April, you could come up to Whistler, you could go to Mount Hood, you could go to Mammoth in California. A lot of places in California actually still open in April. But yeah, I would say Japan. I think Japan is best January, February. It's a long way to go to take a risk on going there in April. But yeah, really good question, Grant. All right. Brady says, what are some boards you would recommend for an intermediate rider to start learning to ride switch? Oh, really good question, man. Yeah, I would recommend any board that is a true twin. So basically that means that the nose and tail are the same shape, and the stance is centered between the nose and tail as well. And if you have a true twin board, that's the best way to learn switch, because you can ride in either direction and the board's gonna feel the same. And in terms of like which board you could find, there's lots of boards out there. I'm a fan of some of the GNU boards, so you could check out the GNU Rider's Choice, the GNU Headspace. If you're looking at, say, like a Capita board, you could try the Capita Horoscope, or what else? I got a bunch of boards around here. The Capita DOA. The DOA is a little bit more on the stiffer side. You could also check out the Arbor Westmark rocker version. I think that's a bit more beginner intermediate friendly in terms of like switch and tricks. But yeah, I would find a board that also, where when you get to the tips, it starts to become rockered out, because having that rocker between the tips is going to mean that when you're learning to ride switch, the board won't be like as catchy. If you have that full camber snowboard, then in your tail, when you're going to make those first switch turns, they might catch a little bit. So try to find a board that's rockered towards the tips and a true twin, and you'll be set. All right, DJ Jem says, I went to Niseko in March and it was already like springtime. Don't expect too much Japow in April, that's for sure. Yeah, good advice, DJ Gems. I feel like you could get lucky with a Japow kind of trip, but it's not the same kind of season, I think, that we have in North America, where you still get powder in April, sometimes even in May. So yeah, Japan is a bit more difficult. I think it's because they don't have the same like elevation too as we do. Because if you're in North America, you can kind of hit up some of those mountains that have really high peaks and still find some of that cold and powder snow, but it's a bit harder in Japan. Elon says, keep creating some great content. Can't wait to watch your amazing mystery video. Question, if I have to choose one board between Evil Twin and Westmark Camber, what should I choose? Oh, wow. Good question. So I think the Evil Twin, the things that stand out about the Evil Twin, so it's a battalion board, so it's got the 3BT. Basically, the tips of the board are like spoons, so the edges really lift away from the snow when you get to the tips, and they have that like spoon shape on each side. Compared to the Westmark Camber, which is camber, it's got some so additional contact points. It's got they're called Grip Tech, which are like bumps that come out from the side, actually kind of towards your feet, that give you extra grip. And then because it's a Westmark Camber, full camber, it's going to be a little bit more catchy. But the Arbor does have this technology where the contact points at the end sort of lift away a little bit. So it's kind of like, it's called, I can't remember what it's called, but it's kind of like a mini version of the 3BT on Battalion. So I would say that the Evil Twin is going to have a looser feel, maybe better for butters, and a little bit easier to turn, but less stable. Where the Westmark Camber is going to be more stable, a little bit harder to butter, but you'll stay more in control. So it's kind of like more control with the Westmark Camber, less control, but easier to kind of play around with the Battalion Evil Twin. So I hope that makes sense. Good question. Pablo says, you gave me confidence in my first steps on a snowboard, and it feels awesome to improve with your videos. Greetings from Malaga, Spain. Awesome, Pablo. Yeah, super stoked, man. Really glad to hear that the videos are helping. I'm just going to get caught up a little bit, guys. Thanks for all the questions. Jack Ripper with the $5 super chat says, thanks for the videos. They are keeping me alive during the summer here. How is the food in Chile? Oh, really good question. So the food in Chile, the first thing I have to say about it is that the portion size was like really big. So bigger than I was expecting. So that was good. Every time I like sat down to eat, it was always hard to eat all the food that they gave me. And the first place I had burritos, and they were massive, lots of beans and rice, and it was delicious. Kind of that more Chilean, I guess, style of food that I was expecting. And then we went to a bunch of different places. Like we went to a cafe. I got like this like really nice veggie sandwich that came on like a massive bun with lots of French fries and stuff like that. So that was delicious. We ate out at a burger place a few times that had like a quinoa burger and fries, and it was massive. And everywhere we ate, even at the resorts, we wouldn't eat a lot at the resorts just because we were like thinking about snowboarding and didn't want to fill up too much. But when we did eat at the resort too, like it was just like massive portion sizes. So overall, the food in Chile was really, really good and big, like huge. And then the coffee's there too. When in North America, we're used to these like big coffees, but in Chile, they just have the little espressos, and those are really nice as well. So overall, yeah, the food was awesome. I give the food like an A in Chile, really good. And Luke wants to know, are we coming to Melbourne for a meetup? I don't think we're going to make it to Melbourne this time, unfortunately. I think we're flying into Sydney and then driving to Jindabyne. It's just like a shorter drive and a little bit cheaper to fly to Sydney than it is to Melbourne. So yeah, unfortunately Sydney this time, but yeah, it was so much fun doing the meetup in Melbourne at the Snow Center there. So maybe you can come out to Jindabyne and hang out with us. And Red's Cap says, dang, have to meet you, Kev, before you leave Whistler. Yeah, Reds, when are you going to be in Whistler? And Max wants to know if we're going to snowboard in Russia. Yeah, that's got to be one trip that we got to start looking into is some of the places that we've, like I've heard a bit about Russia, and Russia had the Winter Olympics a few years ago. So maybe check out snowboarding in Russia. And there's a few places around there it'd be cool to check out. I know there's snowboarding in India. You can go snowboarding in Africa as well, in what's that place called? Just across from Spain. I forget what it's called, but yeah, lots of places kind of in that area, not pretty far flight from here, but lots of interesting spots to check out. Russia's up there. We'll have to make it happen one day. James says, what do you think is the best resort in Canada or America? Oh, it's so tough. One of my favorites definitely is Whistler. That's why I live in Whistler. So Whistler is, I think, up there is one of the best. Jackson Hole is very cool. Mammoth is up there. There's lots of top resorts around. It's hard to choose just one, but I think if I could pick one to live at, I would still choose Whistler just because it has a bit of everything here. And Cyborg Santa 2 says, hey, Kevin, I already have a Burton Custom. What else should I add to my Quiver? Yeah, the Burton Custom is kind of like that, a good sort of do everything kind of snowboard, all mountain or park, but it doesn't do great in the powder. So I would add a powder board to your Quiver. Maybe check out something like the Orca, or there's lots of other shapes out there too. I know Burton has some really fun looking powder boards in the family tree sort of lineup. And yeah, there's lots of different powder boards out there. So that's what I would add a powder board to your Quiver. All right. Shout out to Francisco. Thanks for tuning in, man. Rahul says, going to snowboard first time this next season in Andorra. Looking forward to it, watching all your videos. Thanks for the amazing content. Awesome. Thanks so much. Yeah, good luck first time snowboarding in Andorra. Have a good time. Connor says, what made you go vegan? Oh, a vegan question. Interesting. I guess I went vegan about 7 or 8 years ago, and it was really just trying to discover something that would make me feel good for like snowboarding, and when I would can't come home afterwards to like edit and continue working kind of like all night long. It used to take me like 7 or 8 hours to edit a video. So yeah, I found that when I switched over to vegan and I was just like eating as much plants and stuff as possible, smoothies and things like that, it just made me feel good. So I stuck with it, and it's been, I think it's 7 or 8 years now, and yeah, it's working out. So that was why I started. Ethan says, what sandbox helmet do you use? What is the best sandbox helmet out of their collection? Well, Sandbox doesn't have a ton of helmets in the collection, to be honest. But so my Sandbox helmet right there, that is, which one is that? I think it's the Legend. So I've got the Legend, and then TJ, he rides, oh, what's the other name of the Sandbox helmet? There's the main two. There's the Legend, and oh, I can't remember. But yeah, they're both good. I would say this helmet is a little bit better for people that have like a round head, and then the other helmet, the one that has the brim, is better for somebody that has more of like a oval head, if that makes sense. So it kind of depends on whether or not you want a brim. If you want a brim, go with the other one, the one that TJ rides. If you don't want a brim, check out the Sandbox Legend. All right, great questions, guys. Young Ger says, you guys ever gonna hit Mount Baker, Stevens Pass, or Crystal Mountain? Yeah, we've been meaning to hit up some of those Washington State resorts, and yeah, this season we're gonna try to be as flexible as possible. So then, if you guys are getting tons of snow, we can just drive down there and get some good snow. So definitely want to ride, yeah, Baker, Crystal, Stevens Pass this year. And Express, what do you think about Prism technology by Oakley comparing to other brands like Dragon or Spy? Greetings from Poland, man. Awesome, thanks. Yeah, I've had the chance to ride like many different pairs of goggles, dozens and dozens of pairs. And the Prism technology in the Oakleys is my favorite for sure. I find that when I'm wearing the Oakleys, it doesn't even feel like I'm wearing goggles, like I don't notice it, which is nice. And I've got the high pink lens, and I've also got the red lens. Between those two lenses, I feel like I've got my bases covered. And the Oakley line miners are the ones that I wear, and they've just been perfect. So I think all goggles do different things well, and they're not like a massive difference between goggle technology, but for me, I think Oakleys are the best. All right, just gonna get caught up a little bit, guys. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. 131 people, 60 likes. You guys are legends. And we got a super chat from Yurko. Thanks so much. And he says, if you had to buy/use 3 different boards to use in Chile for all different conditions, which ones would you choose? I have LT T-Rise Pro. I go to Chile and Coralco. It's my 3rd season. Awesome. Yeah, really good question. And that's cool that you go to Coralco as well. So I'll just tell you the boards that I brought. And I was pretty stoked that I brought those boards. The 3 boards I would definitely bring again. So I did bring the Libtech Orca, which was perfect for powder riding. The reason there's another reason besides powder. There was some ice sheets out there when you're like traversing, and you would hit like an area of the mountain that was kind of windswept, and you'd have some ice. The magnet traction on the Orca really helped to like grip the snow, traverse across any of those icy parts to get to the powder snow. And then once you're in it, the shape of the board was like perfect. So definitely bring the Libtech Orca. I also brought my Capita DOA, which we did get to ride park one day. I didn't ride too much park on this trip just because I was still recovering from a little bit of a leg injury, so I was taking it easy, but I was glad that I had the Capita DOA, and yeah, if the park is set up at Coralco, I would definitely want to have a park board with me. And then the 3rd board, I would definitely bring this one every time, would be a split board. So on this trip, I had the Jones Solution, and that was perfect because there was lots of terrain that was sort of like accessible by split boarding, and we hit up. We probably had the split boards out like 4 or 5 days of the trip, and that was perfect as well. So definitely bring a split board. If you don't have any sort of backcountry experience, you can look into doing some avalanche training courses, or get a guide to take you. But yeah, those are the three ones: the Jones Solution Splitboard, the LibTech Orca, Capita DOA. I think that's the perfect combo. Awesome, guys. Yeah, great questions. Marie Smith, do you know any good international snowboard groups for lone boarders, females to connect with who want to travel and board safely? Great question. I don't know the names of them, but when we were in Japan, there was a group, a massive snowboard group community that were all there from, I don't know if they're from all over the States. I think they're from like the New York area. And I think there was like over 100 people all were on the same tour. So I know that they're out there. But yeah, I wish I knew some of the names. Somebody on the channel here that's tunes in every week, Jose Bortista, he was there. We met him and he was with the group. And he said he seemed to be having like a great time with his wife on the trip. So yeah, check out, just look around. I'm sure they're out there. That'd be a really fun thing to do. Another one, I know one in the summertime is you can always do the adult camp at Mount Hood. That's a great way to like make friends, be part of a group of adults, like a snowboard camp experience. So that's an option too. Mitch Blick says, hey, Kevin, love your work all the way from Australia. One question, do you have any trips planned with David Jones? Love your content together. Yeah, we're planning on definitely hanging out together in Wanaka. So probably the first couple weeks of September, you'll see some videos where myself, TJ, and David Jones are all collaborating on some videos. So David, I think he lives in Auckland, or he does live in Auckland, and we've invited him to come crash with us in Wanaka. So that'll be really fun. And Javelin to Draco with the super chat. Thanks so much. It says, hello, Kev. Just want to say thank you to you and TJ. I learned a lot from your videos, got me to learn snowboard, go down blues, and a couple of blacks in the first year. Awesome, amazing. So happy that it helped. And hit 35 plus miles per hour. Awesome, thank you so much. Yeah, sweet. I'm super stoked that the videos helped you out. Thanks so much for the support. And yeah, we'll keep those tutorial videos coming as well. So yeah, really stoked. Yeah, just keep with it, and you'll be breaking 45 miles per hour soon, and maybe some double blacks. But yeah, keep it up. Thanks so much for the support. James Kirkland says, where do you get your music from, Kevin? It's so good. Yeah, so the website I get it from is called Epidemic Sounds, and you have to sign up. And I don't know if kind of depending on how many YouTuber subscribers you have, it determines how much money you pay. So the more subscribers and the more views, the more the songs cost. But for me, it's worth it. It's like very convenient to just go on there, and they have like a big, huge catalog to search through. And yeah, that's the best way that I find music. I think if you have a smaller audience, or if you're just doing it like as a hobby, I think it's either free or it's like, very cheap, like a few dollars a month. So yeah, check that out. Epidemic Sound. On the other side, 3 says, how on earth do you afford your lifestyle? Travel and board this much. I'm so jealous. Well, I've spent since 2011, just spent all these years trying to build up the Snowboard YouTube channel so that it could get to this point where we could travel, make videos, and fund all these trips. So that's how we do it. It's just through the videos and you guys, and doing things like live chats. So all this kind of stuff goes into the snowboarding. And on top of that, we don't spend a lot of money on other things. So most of my trips are snowboard trips, and I don't buy a lot of fancy stuff outside of snowboarding. So one way I did it when I was younger, before I even got into YouTube, I remember a lot of my friends, they were buying cars or saving to buy a house, or all kinds of different stuff that my friends are spending money on. And I was just saving my money so that I could move to Whistler and start snowboarding in Whistler. So that's even without a lot of money, you can still put your money that you do have towards the thing that you love. So that's one way to do it too. And yeah, Heron Zumi says, so that tech on the arbor boards is the uprise fenders. Yeah, that was the word I was looking for, uprise fenders. And Osvaldo says, when is TJ going live since he's on vacation? Yeah, so he is on vacation right now. I think he's in North Carolina visiting his mom and grandma. So TJ is on a little bit of a vacation from snowboarding. So yeah, he's visiting family and friends over sort of on the southeast coast of the state. So yeah, I'm sure he'll be getting a live chat up one of these days. But yeah, if you guys haven't yet, check out TJ's channel as well over on Board Archive. And Rodrigo Proof. Awesome. What's up, Rodrigo? Thanks for tuning in, man. I miss you, man. We had a great time hanging out with you in Chile. And Rodrigo says, just wanted to say hello. Great Chile content. So happy you liked it. Hopefully you'll come again. Yeah, Rodrigo, man, we'll definitely be back to Chile next year. And yeah, thanks for being such an awesome host and like hanging out with us and showing us around a bit. And yeah, just super stoked to meet you, Rodrigo. So we'll see you again next year. Maybe we'll see you here in North America for our winter too. But yeah, hope you had a great rest of your trip at Coralco, man. And Caitlin West says, I did my first jump at the indoor snow center the other day. I can't thank you enough, Kevin. Your videos help so much. I know I'm going to be snowboarding for my life, especially after those Chile videos. Awesome, Caitlin. Yeah, keep it up. Keep up progressing and stay safe out there. And you're at an indoor slope. Very cool. Maybe you live in London. I know there's a lot of indoor snow slopes in England. So that's awesome. Keep it up. Yeah, one day you'll make that trip to Chile. All right. Marie Smith from New Zealand, currently in Awakun, waiting for conditions to improve and go up the mountain here. How do you like New Zealand snow conditions? Yeah, last year when we were there, the snow was great. It was really good park riding. I think we had one day where we maybe had like 15 centimeters of new snow. So I think New Zealand, you guys get pretty good snow, like not the best. You guys kind of get the tops of the mountains covered, so that's really cool. But yeah, we had really good snow when we were there last time. So yeah, had a great sort of park experience at Cardrona. And I think, yeah, there was like 1 or 2 days of like all mountain kind of riding and got to ride a bit of powder too. So yeah, the snow conditions are good. And Joseph says, hey guys, much love from Scotland. What board would you pick for Japan? I'm heading to Niseko next winter and can't wait. Nice, Joseph. Yeah, man, it's tough. There's a lot of good powder boards out there. I would find one that's like the Orca. The reason I keep coming back to this board, so here's I think what makes it a good powder board. One is the nose is like fatter than the tail, so that really helps it to float. So you want that for that Japan powder, a wider nose. It also has a shorter tail, and when you have a shorter tail on a powder board, it lets the tail sink, but I think what even helps it even more is having a smaller tail really allows you to make quicker turns. You can imagine if you had like a large tail on your snowboard, it would be very tough to like turn that board around through the powder. So fat nose, small tail, those things, help it float and turn quickly. And beyond that, you just need to find a board that looks fun. And yeah, something like the Orca. Take a look around. And sometimes too, it's like people they sort of downsize their powder boards if they're really fat. But when you go to Japan and there's so much powder, you can actually, I think, keep the board a little bit bigger. And yeah, so check out the weight scales when you're looking at powder boards. But yeah, just find that like powder specific shape that you want and take it to Japan and you'll have a blast. All right, guys, thanks so much for all the questions. Still over 100 people watching, 75 likes. Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. We got Catman Snow watching from Sweden. We got Team Rate Gaming watching from Wyoming. Team Rate Gaming says, I live in Whistler. Oh, very cool. Blair Taylor says, meet me in Whistler. Yeah, we should do a Whistler meetup. That'd be fun. My side's done with the super chat. No comment or question, but yeah, thank you so much for the support. TFN wants to know, when are you going up in New Zealand? So we're going to be there in New Zealand from September 4th until the 15th. So we fly into Queenstown and in and out on the 4th and 15th. We're staying in Wanaka and probably going to spend most of our time riding at Cardrona. So that's where we're at. And Adrian wants to know if we're going to be hanging out with David Jones. I think we are. And Mika Gask says, come to Argentina, Kevin. Yeah, definitely. Next year, we'll have to check out some Argentinian resorts as well. Heard some really good things about the snow quality in Argentina. So we'll have to check that out. Chile and Argentina. McKenna says, any good kid of cheapish beginner snowboards? Yeah, there's lots of good ones out there. I feel like when you're a beginner, you definitely don't want to spend a lot of money on a snowboard. So check out some of the more popular brands, and each brand will have that like sort of entry level board. So for example, with Capita, something like the Horoscope. For Burton, I'm not sure. Oh, what's it called? Like the Blunt. I think it's called the Blunt, or even the Process is a cheaper board. Libtech's got them. Libtech, the Skate Banana, and some of those other. Every company has a board that is like their entry level board. So there's lots around there. Blair thinks that powder boards suck. All right. All right. And Michael Castro says, hopefully we'll see you guys at 5280 Board Shop in Arvada, Colorado. Yeah, we'll definitely, where is Arvada? I don't even know where that is, but next time we're in Colorado, we'll look it up. KK says, when do stores typically begin stocking new gear for the next season? I've never heard mid-September. I've heard mid-September and can't wait. Yeah, some of the stores already have some gear. So here in Whistler at Showcase, they have, I think, like all of their Burton snowboards are already in. So that's pretty cool to see. But I think typically it's more like September, October time. But I would say call your like local snowboard shop, see when they're getting their boards in, and then go check them out. Or you can look online, depending on where you are, what country you're in. You can look at the website, and some of the boards will be for sale now, and some boards they'll tell you like when they get them in, so you can kind of do like a pre-order. But yeah, it's pretty cool to see all the new gear coming in. All right. Anderson Romeo says, hey, Kevin, any difference between Arbor Westmark and Westmark Frank April edition? I'm not sure like all the differences, but the biggest difference is the Frank April edition is the tips are a bit more blunted. So they're a little bit shorter, almost like the tips are cut off a little bit. And I think they are a bit more squared off. And I think the idea of that is for doing like, one thing for the board to spin a little bit faster and maybe be a little bit catch free getting up onto rail features, and possibly for doing like, tail blocks and stuff, that shape could help with that. So I think that's the main the main difference is the tips are a bit more blunted. All right, just gonna put a couple people in timeout. TFN says, where are you going in New Zealand? So we're staying in Wanaka and gonna be riding, I think most of the time at Cardrona. And New Board says, Chris, Whistler hike vid was epic. Yeah, so Chris Ayers is the channel, and he's been putting up some really cool videos. One was a hike here in Whistler where he went hiking like for this like crazy 9-hour hike and found some like really incredible shots just around Whistler. Some really amazing views. All right. Steve Zimmerman says, what's up, Kevin? Love the Chile trip. Vids were awesome. Thanks so much, Steve. Yeah, appreciate it, man. Yeah, had a great time making them. The scenery and the views and everything in Chile made it easy, so it was awesome. All right. TFN, oh, already got to that one. Karen Gardner, what's up, Karen? She says, Kevin, do you prefer the pink or red lens when it's really low vis? Great question. Yeah, I think the pink one. The pink I find definitely just helps to brighten everything up a bit more. The red one does a pretty good job too, though. The red lens is pretty good on those like super low vis days, but I think the pink just takes it to that next level. So I prefer the pink, and then the red is good for everything else. Express says, do you have good advice according to heel lift? I've tested a lot of boots, and with many of them, I had heel lift. Yeah, sorry to hear that. I feel like some companies actually make boots that for like people that get more heel lift. One pair that I've been told is good for heel lift is Salomon, so maybe try on some Salomon boots. But you basically want to have that like really small, narrow pocket to hold your heel in there. So yeah, depending on, I guess, the shape of your heel, just try a few different pairs. But I've heard Salomon is good for that. But yeah, besides just trying on some different pairs, it's really hard to say. But heel lift is something you definitely don't want. So make sure you get a good one. And Yuval says, what do you think about 3BT technology? Yeah, so 3BT, it's called triple base technology, and it's that spoon shape in the tips of the board. And I think it's pretty cool if you want to have that ease of like a very playful feeling board, easier for butters and very like catch free. But I do think that you kind of lose a bit of stability, so it's kind of like a give and take. So for me, I prefer to have the extra stability over that loose feel, just for me personally. So that's my take on it. All right. Paul says, hey, great vids. You've really helped me up my game. Just wondering if Chile was suitable for intermediate boarders. Definitely. I found that, I think it depends on the resort you go to, but I found that Cardrona was, or sorry, not Cardrona, Coralco was very beginner and intermediate friendly. Like, because it's a volcano, just the pitch of the whole mountain was very even, rolly, just like, very beginner intermediate friendly. So definitely for that. And then if you're more advanced and expert, then you can kind of like start exploring the terrain a bit more and get to some of those more advanced zones, which there's not, to be honest, there wasn't a ton of like advanced areas. But if you don't mind, like if you've got a bit more knowledge and you want to go for a hike or have a split board, then you can access some really amazing like advanced terrain, kind of like what we did in the last video where we hiked to the peak of the volcano. But yeah, it's a very beginner intermediate friendly mountain for sure. And the place that we went to before that, Nevados de Chillán, that was it was a pretty intermediate friendly mountain as well. Maybe a little bit more advanced overall. There was I found that there was a lot of obstacles and rocks, and kind of like you had to take your time a little bit more. But the amount of terrain was huge. So a lot more of that sort of like high intermediate, low advanced terrain at Nevados de Chillán. Right. Ooh. All right. Shout out Chris Ayers. Thanks for tuning in, man. Anderson, shout out. Thanks for watching. He says, about Vancouver's Grouse Mountain, can you have fun? Yeah, Grouse Mountain is super fun. It's pretty small, especially compared to Whistler. It's a small place, but they get a good park set up, and yeah, it's a fun spot. All right, just gonna scroll down a little bit, get caught up. Matt Huang says, thanks for the board recommendation, Kevin and TJ. I picked up both the Orchid and Twin Pig because of you guys this week. Amazing. Looking forward to a great season. Man, yeah, you got two awesome boards there. TJ loves the Twin Pig. I love the Orca. So, yeah, you can't go wrong. And we got Jose Bortisa on here. What's up, Jose? Glad you could make it. And Bruno wants to know, when are you coming to Australia? So we're going to be in Australia. I think we arrive the 15th, probably snowboarding the 16th. And then we leave on the 21st. So it's a shorter trip, but we're going to try to make the most of it in Australia. So about the 15th to the 21st. And Adrian Anderson wants to know, anyone hitting up Europe this season? I'm sure there's lots of people on the live chat. I know a lot of people from Europe tune in. But yeah, we plan on hitting up a few Europe resorts as well. So we're definitely going to be in Europe this winter. I know that we're going to probably be riding at the Stubai Glacier in October 21st for 5 or 6 days. So if anybody's riding the Stubai Glacier for the opening weekend there, that'll be a fun time as well. Wow, so many great questions, guys. I'm having a hard time keeping up. B King says, "Hey Kev, do you change your stance degrees on your bindings when riding POW, or does it stay the same as you would any other terrain?" No, I definitely change my bindings back and forth depending on the conditions. If it's a POW day, I definitely have my stance set back. If you're riding a board that is directional, that naturally has the insert pack set back, then you don't need to. But if you're riding more of a twin board, definitely set your stance back. Makes it so much easier to ride through that powder. Just again, making the tail smaller and the nose bigger makes it easier for powder. But if I'm riding park, I try to have it completely centered. That way the board rides the same in either direction, which is great for switch and landing tricks. Mac Polo says, are you going to check out Treble Cone when you come to Wanaka? Cardrona is sick, but I still think you're making a mistake by not checking out Taroa and the North Island. Lots more variety. Ooh. Wow, okay, you're making it tough for us now. Okay, we'll look into the North Island, because I've also been looking at the snow reports, and I feel like in New Zealand, yeah, you guys are getting some good snow all over the place. So we'll have to keep an eye on those the North Island resorts, and maybe we'll have to make a last minute change and come up there. CVI says, what boots can you recommend for Capita Ultra Fear 2019 plus Union Force 2019? Yeah, check out some of the Vans boots. I've been a big fan of Vans recently, so the Sequels or the High Standard Pros. High Standard Pros if you want softer boots, Sequels if you want stiffer ones. But yeah, it's a good combo you got there. All right. TTV says, I've been watching you guys for 3 years now. Wow, thanks so much. Thanks for the support. And Wilder Iglesias says, what happened with the Deep Thinker? Don't like it anymore? I do. So this is the Deep Thinker here. I do like the Deep Thinker, but the problem is that I like the Orca better. So that's what happened with the Deep Thinker. The Deep Thinker is good. It's like a good sort of like all mountain powder board. It's definitely more park friendly, like trick friendly than the Orca. So if you're looking for a board that's more that you can take all mountain into the powder and for doing some tricks, then the Deep Thinker is a great one. But yeah, I just got hooked on the Orca, and I like the Orca better, so that's why I don't ride the Deep Thinker as much. Mika Gas says, hey Kev, what does it mean when you try a new board and it feels amazing compared with your actual board? Then you get it and you get used to it and you think you need something new. What does it mean? I don't know. I feel like, yeah, it's fun to get new boards, to try out new boards, to demo boards and see how they feel. So, yeah, it's like a fun thing to try just different boards, but it's also good to find a board that you love and ride that one for years too. So you kind of got whatever works, everyone's looking for something different. So it's your call. And James says, what size do you ride on your Orca? I plan to buy it, and thanks for your videos. So I ride I think that's the 153. I'm 185 pounds, and honestly, it's probably like a little bit small for me. So if I get the next Orca, the 2020 Orca, I'll probably get I think it comes in a 150. I think it comes in a 159. So the next one, I'll probably get the 59. But check out the weight scale chart, and that'll really point you towards the size you should get. And Heroin Zumi says, I'm heading to Buller on Tuesday. I think that's in Australia for 4 days. Psyched. Awesome. Yeah, have fun at Mount Buller. All right. There's a lot of troublemakers on this live chat, which I think is a good thing. That means that we're like reaching a wide audience. But it's funny to see so many people getting put into timeout. Ski Boy says, do you guys use the Insta360 One X and invisible selfie stick for any of the Chile footage? If so, any problems with the stick collapsing? We always have that problem. Oh, sorry to hear it. I don't have that camera, but TJ, he's got that camera. I don't think he didn't use it in Chile. I think one thing he doesn't like about using it is that you have to edit the video on your phone with the app, which I don't think he's like a huge fan of. But yeah, he hasn't used it in a while, but when I've seen him use it, the footage comes out pretty cool. So it looks awesome, that Insta360 camera. And if you have the problem with the stick, maybe you can just get a different stick for it. But yeah, that sucks that you have that problem with the collapsing stick. But when it does come out, the footage looks pretty amazing. Snowboard Life 14, he says, hey Kevin, do you still have your first ever snowboard? You should do a park video with your old snowboard. I don't have my first ever snowboard. It's like long gone. But yeah, it was like a really stiff board that was too wide and too big for me. But yeah, it's a distant memory. It's probably, I don't know where it would be right now. It must be in a garbage heap somewhere. And Jose Bortisa says, I've already booked my Japan, Colorado, Oregon, and Whistler trip. So, wow. So I'll have to see if I have days at work. Wow, man, that's awesome, dude. And Cameron wants to know if you've ever snowboarded in Maine. Never snowboarded in Maine. I think I've driven through Maine briefly, but never snowboarded there. As Valdo says, Kevin, put those guys on timeout. I think I put most of them in timeout. All the troublemakers. It's good. It's a good sign. Reaching lots of people. And Hamed says, Adidas boots helped with my heel lift. Nice. Also sized down a bunch. Yeah, good advice. Good to know about the Adidas boots. Joseph says, thanks for the tips on the powder board for Japan, Kevin. I'm thinking of the DC House of Powder. Might also be epic, along with the LibTech Orca. Decisions. Yeah, and honestly, those are two very different boards. I would say the DC House of Powder, I think it's cool. Our friend Yannick, he rides it. I think the one thing to be aware is it's very thin. It's a very thin board, and I don't think it gives you a ton of like stability. So I think it's like for like pure powder riding, if you've just got deep snow and you're not worried about the board like folding up too much, I think it's a good board. But I think for riding outside of powder, you could run into some troubles. I'd recommend the Orca over the House of Powder, but if you've got your mind set on it, I think, yeah, our friend Yannick loves it. So, but just be aware that it's a very thin, kind of like soft, flimsy powder board. But so it's very unique. It's pretty cool. And new board with the super chat, €5. Thanks so much, man. He says hashtag NZ Fund, hashtag Beer Fund. Awesome. Thanks so much. Yeah, NZ's coming up, so we'll put that to use. Maybe I'll have a beer with TJ at the airport. Thanks, new board. And Nick's Vlogs with the super chat as well, £5. He says, looking for a slightly softer board than my DOA for the park and jibbing. Any recommendations? Keep up the sweet vids. Whistler, Jan 2020, can't wait. Yeah, so if you're looking for a softer board, you could check out so the LibTech box knife. I think that's like a similar kind of board to the DOA, but softer, and you get a bunch of other tech with it as well. You get the magnet traction, and just the base profile is different, but it's another park board. You could also check out the GNU Headspace, sort of like on the similar towards the park, but a bit softer than the DOA, not as stiff, a bit more friendly for butters. And what else? In the Capita line, you could look at a softer Capita board. Maybe check something out like the Ultra Fear or the Horoscope. The Horoscope is a lot, doesn't have the same extruded base as a sintered base, so not as quality of a base, but it's a cheaper board and it's a lot softer. All right. Karen says, hi from Manchester, UK. Just about to pull the trigger on the 2020 Jones Frontier. New name for the Explorer. Oh, very cool. And Burton Photon to add to my Union Force. Can't wait for 3 weeks in Fernie and the Alps 2020. Oh, amazing. Yeah, have a good season out there. All right. Yeah, thanks for all the questions. Just going to scroll down, get caught up a little bit, guys. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out. Over 100 people. Joshua Jackson, what do you think? Kevin, what do you think the best resort is? Oh, man, another best resort question. I love Whistler. Whistler's fun. I love down in New Zealand. Cardrona is really cool. I love Queenstown. Heading over to Revelstoke was a lot of fun. Being down in Chile, Coralco, and the town Malacoello. It's so hard to choose. There's like so many cool places. Everywhere has its own unique feel and style. So it's too hard to pick just one. Japan, can't forget about Japan. Niseko. And Chris is pretty close. He says the House of Powder is made from origami paper. Yeah, not too far off. It is origami paper-esque. All right. Black Cloud says, sup, man, just got one of the limited Burton custom Kid Robot. Oh, interesting. They have the old 3D system, and I'm wondering how can I use the Union Flight contact bindings? Is there some conversion disc for 3D? Yeah, there should be some conversion discs. Are you talking about So Burton Custom Kid Robot. So does it have the EST system? I'm not sure what it's got the old 3D system. Oh, it's got the 3-hole system. Ooh, that's a good, I remember that 3-hole system. To be honest, I don't know. You'll have to look into finding, like, maybe call around to a bunch of shops and see where they have those old 3D system discs, because yeah, they won't work with the unions unless you get the 3D discs, man. Good luck. I think you're just gonna have to call around to a bunch of board shops, maybe even call Burton, see if they'll send you out some. Yeah, give Burton a call. Call them up and just say, hey, can you send me some? Or maybe maybe they'll sell you some for cheap. But yeah, I remember those old 3-hole insert packs. And Papanana says, bro, have you tried the DJI Osmo action camera? Maybe compared to the GoPro. I haven't yet, but it's pretty cool because it has the camera screen on the front of the camera as well. So if you're talking to the camera, you can see yourself in the video screen there. So I haven't tried it out. I'll probably get the GoPro 8. I'll probably just stick with GoPro just because, but the DJI Osmo one looks pretty cool too. And Tom Bollocks, shout out Tom Bollocks. You sent me a bunch of emails, giving me lots of great info on Chile, man. So thank you so much, Tom. And he says, just entered my house from a good spring day here in Chile. Awesome, Tom. Yeah, and just again, thank you so much for all that info. A bunch of people from Chile were emailing me, giving me information and advice on the trip, and honestly, it turned out to be like a perfect A+ trip. So thank you guys all for the advice. Probably the highlight of Chile too is like the people. Everyone is so friendly, so welcoming. So thanks to everyone that we met down on that trip as well. And Takwa E says, yo, Kevin, what are your thoughts on the LibTech Skate Banana? Cheers, mate. Very cool board. I think it's like a great sort of like playful, soft, sort of, it's great for beginner, intermediate riders. You can take it past that, but it's got that very catch-free feel because of just the rocker, sort of like the banana tech that it has. And you've also got magnet traction, which gives it that grip on ice. And just overall, it's a pretty cool board. I haven't ridden one in many years, but yeah, it's kind of like a playful, fun board. And Elliot says, do you like the LibTech T-Rice Pro or E-Jack Knife better as an all-mountain / freeride board? Of those two boards, I would probably go for the E-Jack Knife. It felt like a pretty fun, like, board that you could ride all mountain and then also take it into some powder if you had some. But yeah, it was stiff, it was directional, it was had lots of pop through it. So the E-Jack Knife was really fun. The T-Rice Pro is a fun one too, but I think I prefer the E-Jack Knife. Adrian Anderson, what's the daily rate for a lift pass at Whistler? I think it's pretty expensive. I think you're looking at maybe like $170 Canadian, maybe 180 Canadian, something like that. All right. Wow, thanks guys, everyone for tuning in. Made it to the end of the questions. Finally, Joshua Jackson, are you coming to Mount Ruapehu in New Zealand? No plans at the moment for Mount Ruapehu, but yeah, we'll start looking into it, keep an eye on the weather, and possibly get up there. And Adam Bad Rider says, hey, Chris, oh, he's talking to Chris. Hey, Chris, I'm suffering snow withdrawals, but all good. Nice. That's a good. Of all the withdrawals you could have, snow withdrawals aren't so bad. And Snowboard Life 14, yo, Kevin, any new merch coming out soon? I need a sweatshirt to use. Yeah, nothing planned. Gonna have some new beanies out in the next about next month, but we still have some white Snowboard Pro Camp beanies and some gray ones. So there's a link below in the description, guys, if you want to check out some of the Snowboard Pro Camp beanies or stickers. So great way to support the channel is through the beanies and stickers. And yeah, shout out to everyone that's bought a beanie or sticker already. Great way to support the channel. All right. Bad Rider says, hey Kev, thoughts on adding an ASIM deck to the Quiver? An ASIM, yeah. Like, I'm a big fan of the ASIM boards. I think you can feel that when you go from toe to heels. If you guys don't know, basically ASIM means that the heel edge is a little bit shorter than the toe, which just allows you to kind of carve or make a shorter, just helps you to make a quicker turn on your heels, because as you're riding, it's much easier to get onto your toes and make those sharper toe turns, and it's a little bit more difficult to make a sharper heel turn. So the ASIM, the shorter heel, just helps you a little bit make those heel turns a bit shorter. So yeah, I'm a big fan. Adam, I feel like if you're gonna get a park board, or even just an all mountain cruising board, you might as well get ASIM. If it's an option, it's a snowboard, it's got so many tools on it. If it has manual traction, if it's got ASIM, if it's got list goes on of all the tools that can go into a board, you might as well get as many tools included in one snowboard as you can. So I'm a big fan. All right. And Adam Searles says a 5-day edge card for Whistler is $479 right now. Not sure how much longer they have that for. Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, so $479. That's a pretty good price for visit Whistler. Awesome, guys. So we've been on here for an hour and 20 minutes. Thank you guys for all the questions. You guys killed it. Shout out to everyone that did the super chats as well. You guys, huge for supporting the channel. Thanks to everyone that liked, and yeah, shout out. Thank you guys all for checking out the videos. Appreciate you guys so much. We're getting one more video out from Chile probably in the next day or two, so really stoked to get that last video up for you guys, and also gonna have some videos out next week in preparation for the New Zealand and Australia trip. So I hope you guys are having a good summer. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, if you're down south, I hope you guys are enjoying the winter. And yeah, we'll see you guys back here on the live chat next week. Yeah, hope you guys have a great weekend. Links to all of our gear and the Snowboard Pro Camp merch down in the description. Yeah, thank you guys again. I'll see you guys next week. Take care.